What's good, everybody? The Big Dawg checking in. And today, we at the industry most wanted podcast with the legendary TampaMystic. Make sure you tune in because this is something you definitely don't want to miss. You dig?
What's going on, man? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live. Where are we at?
Industries.
The big one, not the little one.
Wanted.
Speaking of the big one, man, we got the Big Dawg Tone checking in. What's going on, family?
What's good? I'm glad to be back.
Of course, listen,
love it.
back like you never left.
It's like family.
No, we like family for sure. You know what I'm saying? This is my younger brother. I'm the elder. I'm the OG in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Well, it's good to see you.
Likewise.
Always come in here looking super duper fly.
Thank you. I try.
100%, man. Before we dive in, because I got some deep questions for you, give us a very brief introduction of yourself.
Big Dawg Tone from Camden, South Carolina. Small town, about 30 minutes away from Columbia, South Carolina. Been in the industry about 8 years. Work with Grammy-winning producer Zaytoven. In Position Entertainment, our clients is 42 Doug, Black Youngster, Hitman Audio, Lil Migo, Taj Money. I worked at Authentic Empire for a brief time, Solar Sound Studios. And now I'm just doing my own thing, creating my own brand, but still working with those clientele and stuff like that. So I'm just enjoying it.
That's what you have to do. That's what my OG told me. He's like, it's okay to work with other people, but you got to build your own brand as well. You know, and
something you could pass down.
The legacy. Camden, South Carolina. For people who aren't familiar with where that's at, where is it on the map in South Carolina? Like maybe what big city would it be near that they may be from that they have heard of?
Oh, definitely Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
Fort Jackson.
Okay, got you. Your childhood out there, what was it like?
I definitely. It was perfect. I think it was like most childhoods. You know, of course, every city got their own hood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in what you call the tracks.
What does that mean?
It was just like, I guess because the hood, it was the park, and then he had the tracks right there.
The railroad tracks,
So they called it tracks. I was just like any other kid, you know. I think what would differentiate me from them, it was like, I think the older guys saw something different in me, because I was like, I wanted to be like the drug dealer and stuff like that. It was like, man, go on, man.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, man. They knew I was different. And I definitely appreciate those guys for kind of like steering me in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? Because they knew I wasn't built for it. Like, I was the type of guy that, man, I was trying to get them off drugs and stuff like that. They're like, you trying to get them by, I'm trying to get you off of it. So it's just like, I knew, you know, I was different from me and my partners. I tried it one time, and it
wasn't working out for you.
It wasn't working for me.
I mean, that's good. I'm glad that it did it, though. You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely glad.
It's funny because the house that my sister and I and my parents obviously grew up in, until I would say about the age of 10, we, at the end of our road, we literally lived on a dead-end road, and it was a dirt road. My dad used to call it Skid Row because it was, you know, wasn't the best in the neighborhood. And at the end of the street, there was railroad tracks. And my sister and I used to go and line pennies up on there. And when the train ran over it, we'd come back and get them, and they'd be all flat. Y'all ain't never do that.
I didn't know it was illegal until I got old.
Yeah, don't incriminate me. I'm just kidding.
I didn't do it before. Like I said, I didn't know it was legal until I got old. I thought it was cool. I'm just like you, like.
Because I'm like, who really uses penny? Let's be, especially in today's era. You know, I feel like at some point in time, money, actual currency like that is going to be obsolete anyway. It's going to be all digital.
Yes,
100%, man. So, what originally drew you into the music industry? Because, you know, everybody has their own story.
Like I said, it was something that kind of just fell in my lap. And I tell everybody, like, I wanted to be in the military for 20 years. Like, that was my plan. I wanted to be a ranger. Like, I was dead set in on military. And my first deployment, I didn't know when we got messed up kind of over there, I had came back. And then when I tried out for Ranger School, I didn't know I had a reticulostesis in my spine. And so when they did the physical and stuff like that, they was like, yo, you know your spine is crooked and stuff like that. But I always had back pains. I was just like thinking like, man, you supposed to have back pains. Like, you're lifting weights and stuff like that. I ain't thinking anything of it, but it was like, nah, this is pretty serious. And then I was explaining to them, when the doctors was explaining to me, they was like, I was like, so I won't be able to do this? That's like, do this? That's like, you know, you're not even really supposed to be even trying to run or do anything. That's like, if you could have one jump and you landed wrong, you could be paralyzed.
Wow.
And I didn't even know. Like I said, I've been doing it. Like even then, I still stayed in for a while, not even knowing how severe it was. Because like I said, I always thought that you supposed to have back pain. I'm thinking like a man, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like that's what comes with the nature. But like I said, it just kind of fell in my lap. One day I just like, God, what you want me to do? And I was like, he like, do music. And I'm like, what? Like for real, it came just like that. He's like, go do music. And that's when I reached out to Mr. Raphael Capone over at Solar Sound Studios, and that was it.
Man, shout out to Capone, man. Raphael Capone and Amber and the whole team over there.
Yeah.
Take us through your journey of working with Solar Sound Studios. What was that like for you? Because they're amazing.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I think one thing I appreciate now, which I didn't appreciate then, was the branding and understanding about branding and posting and how to post. But definitely the branding and having a standard. I think because with him, I think he was in the military too as well.
Right.
So he understood about standards and how to do things in a certain manner, in a certain order. But definitely, like I said, I don't think, I tell anybody, like a lot of times, I didn't learn a lot about music. I just learned a lot about stuff that you can't teach. And that was, like I said, the coming in on time, making sure you did the little things right. It was like making sure that I swept up correctly or I mopped correctly. Like, paying attention to those little details, because once you pay attention to those little details, that's how you're able to get bigger opportunities.
Almost like life skills, you know.
Skills.
That's you know, and some of that stuff, like you said, it can't be taught. Some of it, you know, you pick up along the way or whatever. But that's dope. Yeah, Capone he's definitely about his business, and that's what I love about him.
I didn't understand. Like I said, now I'm like, I hated it back then. I was like, the white shirt, this and that. But now I'm like, wow, I even take certain things from then. It's like I'm implementing in my life now.
I feel like we all feel that way about stuff that, you know, growing up, you know, our parents made us do chores. Well, that just set us up with those life skills and know how to keep our home clean as an adult, you know, because it's like, you got a messy home, you got a messy mind,
I tell anybody that, and they don't even agree with that. I'm like, no, that is true. You could tell a lot about a person by their car and by their home.
I've even read or maybe seen video or something. They say people who keep messy situations, it's a sign of depression. And I believe that. Because if you don't care enough about your surroundings, to me, it says that there's something, you know, and not throwing shade or whatever, because I even felt like I kind of had a period in time when I first moved up here. I kind of went through that because I was having that anxiety of being away from my family, and I felt like I wasn't keeping up with stuff as I should. And like one day it just clicked to me. I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not any shade. I feel like, you know, we may all go through that at some point in time.
Definitely.
I also want to talk about, you went through a tremendous weight loss journey.
Yeah.
Man, congratulations.
Yeah,
you know, that's
over 150 pounds. Yeah.
That's like one of the toughest things that so for someone who's never had to go through a weight loss journey, especially that amount of weight.
Yeah.
I lost my max was 63 pounds, and it took me a while to do it. Yeah. And man, what was it inside you that said, you know what, I got to get this weight off my body?
Because I knew I wasn't at my full potential. And then also too, I knew it affected my career because I lacked the confidence, because I felt like when I went into certain rooms or did certain things, I felt like everybody was just looking at me and seeing I was the biggest guy in the room. Yeah. And so it definitely did lack a lot of confidence. I didn't want to, you know, be in front of the cameras and stuff like that. So definitely I knew then. And then also too, I didn't feel good about myself. And then of course, if you don't feel good about yourself, you're not able to treat the people around you good. And it's just like, I always believe that, you know, charity starts at home. And it's just like, well, how can I be so great to people out there? And if I'm not even great to people, you know, around me in my home, you know, my family, my friends, the close ones. So that was the biggest thing. I felt like I wasn't at my full potential doing it. And I always told Nuke and them that, like, yo, I'm not at my full potential doing what I'm doing, because I knew that it was like I didn't feel confident about anything. Absolutely. And it just, you know, I trust me, because my weight has gone like this. I was always slim until I want to say I hit about my maybe late 30s. And then, of course, women's hormones changes, things change in our life, and we have to change. We have to change how we exercise. We have to change how we eat. Then, since then, it's been like this, up, down, I lose, I gain, I lose, I gain. And I feel like for me, the toughest part is the maintaining. Like losing it's a journey, but once you lose it, that maintaining is, to me, is what is even more difficult. Because you're like, oh, I done lost the weight, now I can start eating again. You know what I'm saying? How do you maintain it? Definitely just staying disciplined. I went back to my old ways, like just straight up, just getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, working out, portion control. Like, I don't think people understand, like, you can still eat whatever you want to eat, but you just got to eat it in, you know what I'm saying, in the right amount of portion. But but definitely just lifting a lot of weights, and then just enjoying my workouts. I don't think people enjoy their workouts. I think a lot of them just go in the gym. It's like, to them, it's like a chore. To me, it's not a chore. It's like I go in there and I actually have fun. I might go in there and play basketball one day. Right. I might go in there and just do some push-ups, pull-ups. Like I actually enjoy what I do, and then that's just anything. Even with the music now, I just enjoy what I do now.
That's a great tip for anybody out there who, like you said, who feels like it's a chore. Switch it up. There are days where I maybe don't feel like going to the gym, but I'll go to the park and I'll do like a little HIIT workout out there. I bring my little weights. I got my resistance bands. I'll find a set of stairs that I can run up and down, So there's different things that you can do. So it doesn't have to necessarily be, I'm in the gym 5 days a week, pounding the weights. Like there's other things you can do, playing basketball, etc. That is super dope, man. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
So as an A&R and a marketing force behind In Position Entertainment,
yes,
take us through a day-to-day. What does that look like for you as an A&R?
Oh, man. One thing I love doing now, I think I hated it at first. I didn't understand. I really didn't understand the task of being an A&R or just being in the music industry, was just really just getting up and being around talent. I think now, being at New Music Mondays, I enjoy being around the talent because I get to learn about their story. And it's like, a lot of times people think that with marketing, you have to like get this product and this and that. It's like sometimes you just gotta just change a person's mind frame. I feel like if I could change a person's mind frame about certain things, then I could change their career. And I think that's what I'm learning about A&R. It's not about the music sometimes. It's just about the individual. And just like I said, I'm just enjoying the process of just getting up, just going to network. Right now, I'm just in a networking phase right now. Just getting out there, getting the brand, and they creating a brand. Because if people can fall in love with the brand, they'll fall in love with anything that we're doing. Of course, about 2 weeks ago, I was with Doug. We went all through the Carolinas. Youngster got his show next week in Rocky Mountain. But right now, it's just like, that's what I'm doing right now. Just creating a brand, creating a network, making sure that whenever it's time for artists to kind of drop or do anything, we have those resources. Like I don't believe in just throwing darts. I believe in having a system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
makes perfect sense. Were you actively seeking an A&R position when you landed that role, or was it something that was presented to you?
Nah. Shout out to my boy Julian. I've been knowing him for about 6 years. We actually started on Solar Sounds together.
Okay, no.
we started together.
Look at God aligning everything.
And that's how it was. It's so crazy. I tell anybody, like, I just met him there, and it's like he took a different path in his career, of course, when he met with Youngster, and then he started doing placing beats like that. He understood the lick back then. Like, he started placing beats, and then he placed like one of the biggest beats with Polo G with that song Martin and Gina. And so that just took his career off. So what he do is just place beats and get you know what I'm saying? So now I done fell into the realm of placing beats and stuff like that.
That's hard. I love it. I love that you've been able to tap into so many different things. You mentioned working with Coalition DJs. You're at New Music Monday every Monday. And I see you, I believe you interview people.
Yes.
And so run us through that. Like on an average Monday night, you're at Coalition DJs, New Music Monday over at Stankonia Studios. What is your role there? What all are you doing?
Oh, man. I like I said, I definitely, shout out to Funky, shout out to X. Shout out to Rich. Like I said, I knew being an A&R or just even work with other brands that I had to get that certain stamp. So I was like, I just want to go to Coalition DJs. And then I talked to Rich. He was like, we creating this new platform. It's going to be called Back in the Booth. And I was like, all right, cool. He's like, what can you do? Well, of course, I have a degree in film. So I was like, okay, well, I could just edit it. But what I do is, of course, I get the guys in there. We do the Back in the Booth. Just like a regular platform, like on the radar.
Yes.
We in the process of building, and we done got it to where it's like a well-oiled machine. I think a lot of what we was doing in the beginning, we was trying to test and see like, okay, do we like this content? Do we like this edits and stuff like that? Now we have a system set up. So I think now it's going to be one of the biggest platforms out here because we have an actual system set up for it. And like I said, I love it too because I get to network with the artists, and we get to network past Back in the Booth and, work their records and stuff like that as well.
That's one of the most important things, is to have a system in place, because it's in the beginning, it's a lot of trial and error. Like I do the mic drop performances here, and I would say my videographer that films them for me, like I kind of help direct the situation of the angles I want, this, that, and the third. It took us a good, I would say 6 months to really get that look we were going for. But once we found it, we're like, that's it.
Yep.
that is it. It's not changing from that. And that's what you guys are on that same path.
I'm glad you said that because I was getting frustrated. I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. But I think once I seen it, like, I like this. Like, okay. And I understand anything great, it takes time.
Yes.
It takes time. Anything that's kind of rushed, you know, you just kind of throw it out there and stuff like that, you're not going to enjoy it. But I'm glad that we actually took our time because none of us that's out there, we're in survival mode. A lot of times people set up certain things in their survival mode, so they're just looking for money. I was like, no, I want a great product. You know, and so once you have a great product, it just sells itself.
It's a big difference between actually being passionate about it and wanting a great product versus, like you said, being in that survival mode. And it's like, you know, I get it. Some people, they're in dire straits. You know, money's, you know, like not coming in like it should. We're in a whole recession right now, you know, but you want to present the best product possible because essentially that image and the perception is what's going to sell it.
Yep.
And if you think about it, like historically, you look back at a lot of these platforms, they looked way different in the beginning.
Yeah.
They've switched their looks. I've switched mine up multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to kind of switch it again, slick. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Not necessarily rebranding, just re-imaging, I guess you could say. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yes, yes.
So also as your A&R position with In Position Entertainment, you've had the opportunity, like you mentioned, being involved with some major names, Black Youngster, 42 Doug, the list goes on. How did you become involved in working on their particular campaigns?
Oh, like I said, Julian, I think with him, like when he started off in his career, it's like he came from Memphis, and he really didn't kind of know nobody out here, so it's like we kind of bonded together. And I think sometimes I have to tell him, like, bro, like, I appreciate the opportunity you give me, but sometimes I feel like he gives me opportunity because he feel like he owed me because I did so much for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I said, I appreciate everything because, like I said, it keeps me active in the industry. And then also, too, I love working with people that I know, you know, in a sense, because sometimes you kind of go into different, because the problem was, too, I'll be honest with you, I wanted to, like, create my own thing, create my own name. And even now, it was just like for example, I hit up Slip and Slide Records, and then I hit up Empire, and these guys, like, they actually came back like, yo, we want to do interviews, stuff like that. So I'm thinking, like, but dang, if I can be great over there, why can't I just be great to my peoples that who we started with? You know, they know me, I know them. You know, it's but so much I'm gonna do to them. It's but so much they're gonna do to me, and then I know their story.
Yes.
You know, I know the story behind Julian. You know, I know how he slept in the cars, and you know how much he sacrificed. So it's but so much I'm gonna do to his business. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the reason why he gives me so many opportunities, because he trusts me, because they know, like, man, I seen the story. I was with him with the story. So I think that's the real reason why I get certain opportunities and stuff as well.
It makes perfect sense because you want to stick with your day ones, per se. People that were with you through the thick and thin, people that were with you through those difficult times, the ones who didn't jump ship when you did maybe have to sleep in your car, or, you know, lost your car, your house, or whatever it may be, man. And he sees that in you, and it's like, it sounds like he's forever grateful.
Oh yeah, he always, every time he comes to Atlanta and stuff, that's all we talk about. Like, you know, he comes and like he's like, to me, I think he's even on a bigger level. I think he don't promote himself on a bigger level because he's so humble. And I'm like, bro,
come on, Julian, pop your ish one time.
He got to, and I'm like, bro, man, you got all these plaques and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's just so humble. And I think that's just what makes the relationship so cool, because he don't look at me as somebody who's trying to take from him. He looks at me like, man, this really guy who was kind of like there in the beginning. He always tell him, like, man, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't even have it, because like it was times where, you know, he couldn't pay the rent, or he didn't have a car, and I'm like, bro, just take my car. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
like,
that's love.
Yeah, and I'm like, or I mean, it was times like, I remember one time we went on a double date and he ain't had the money for the girls we had, like, and I just slid the car and tell him, like, yo, this is our business account. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know that's right.
You feel me? So it's like,
that's a real friend. I hope them girls don't see it.
yeah, that was back in the day we was doing that. But it's just so funny because I look at those times like, dang, like people always say like, not being a good being a good person sometimes put you last, but not in my case. It kind of put me first, because he's somebody, he like, if I really got something great going on, he's going to listen to it.
God aligned that entire situation.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
beautiful. What is his Instagram?
It's 25 Riches.
Okay,
25
perfect.
Riches.
We want to make sure that he gets all his just due, all his proper
Shout out to
shine.
my boy Julian.
Riches with an S at the end?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Definitely. You've also had the opportunity to work with the legendary Grammy Award-winning Zaytoven.
Yes.
What is the biggest gem that he ever dropped on you that you still like resonate with to this day?
I tell anybody, it's so, because everybody asks me that question, and I love that question. I think the biggest thing he taught me, because he never really taught me about music. Like, we always talked about everything else. Nuke and Ro is the one who really taught me about music and business. From one thing I learned from Zay was that I can be a Christian and still do this in the industry. I can still be myself. I can still go to church on Sundays, because that was something I struggled with, because people were like, you can't be that nice. You can't be this. You can't be this. You can't be that. And it's just like, with him, it's just like, yeah, you can do all that, because I still go to church on Sundays and still be in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing I learned from him. It's like, yo, you can be yourself. You can be a Christian. You can be Muslim. You can be whatever you are, you know what I'm saying, still make it in the music industry.
I absolutely agree with that, because prior to me having this studio, I had another spot, but prior to that, I worked at a studio called Arc Studios that was owned by a pastor and his wife. Pastor John Elmore. Used to be 3D Church, now it's Alive City Church. And he would always say, even though he's a pastor, he's like, I'm a human being first. And I just love that type of, and it's like, of course, he wanted people to, follow God, but he would never push it upon people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I loved and was so comfortable about it, because I feel like we all have our own relationship with, God or whoever your higher power may be. And it's like, I don't push it upon people, but I highly encourage it, though.
I definitely highly encourage anything that I tell anybody to find a religion that's just rooted in, forgiveness. Anything that's rooted in forgiveness, you definitely need to follow it, Yeah,
or even if you just take a little bit from each one, like just have some sort of vision and keep some faith in your life, because there are people who are truly lost out here.
Yeah, I love all religions, I done sat up in the synagogues and and I actually enjoy their service. I think with me, I believe that God gave everybody a message, and everybody just interpret the message, and whatever works for you, works for you. Muslim, it just doesn't work for me, because I just don't like the structure of the sermon, because I don't get really nothing out of it.
Understood.
But even with being in church, I really don't. If I wasn't in there doing the cameras, I probably wouldn't be up in church every Sunday. I'm just being real, but now it's just like a discipline to me, and I feel like I'm giving something back. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. So, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I grew up. I was in church every Sunday.
Me too. Then
went to Sunday school. So I was there for hours. Every Wednesday I was in the missionette. So, I had to put my pink dress on with my sash, and that's how I grew up. So I feel like in my adulthood, I go to church from time to time, but honestly, it's like I just built my own relationship with Jesus Christ. That's my Lord and Savior. And it's like, I feel like we all can just build our own relationship with whoever your higher power may be,
Yes.
Walk in faith, though, for sure.
Yes.
So tell us about your involvement with Twins, which is Boosie's film. What role did you play behind the scenes on this one?
Production assistant, line producing. Shout out to my girl Chrissy, because she was the one who put me on that opportunity. But yeah, that's what we did. And like I said, I enjoyed every moment, because the first time I met Boosie was like 6 years ago. And I was like a stand-in for one of his music videos. I told myself, the next time I seen him, I wanted to do something special. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my girl Chrissy. She put me onto that play. That
is amazing. Being able to work on set with a Boosie, which is well known in the music industry, and of course now on the film side. What did you get from that? Like any lessons you learned from working on set with Boosie?
I learned that Boosie Boosie has a lot of charisma and a lot of personality.
Yeah, he does.
And I think if people can learn how to build their personality and charisma and how to master that, they'll be great at anything they do. So I think that's what I really took away from Boosie, and I really took away how professional and how well loved he is. I know we see certain things, but like how he just fed everybody, or how he just made sure everybody was good, and how he was just real interactive. Like, he really, sometimes we look at these guys and we look at them and we think that they're not human beings,
right?
And they're like, no, these guys are really human beings. But I mean, I always kind of been around celebrities, but I always kind of I think with Boosie, I was like, okay, Like it's something like people like you don't want to meet your idols, but he was somebody I was like, I'm kind of glad I got to meet again on this different level.
Absolutely. And I think, Boosie's been famous for a long time.
Yeah.
So to him, it's kind of just like second nature, where some of these new celebrities kind of be on a high horse. Not all of them, but some of them be on a high horse because they're brand new being famous, if that makes sense. Where Boosie's just such a humble, cool dude, and he puts so many people in a position, man.
Yes. And like I said, you have to have certain stamps in the industry, and that was like a stamp for me. You know what I'm saying? Working with something like Boosie like that.
And we're praying over your health too, Boosie. I seen he posted recently he was having some heart issues or heart pains and stuff like that. And I've seen online, I seen a thing, I may have said this last time, they say you can have all the problems in the world until you have a health problem. Now you only have one. And he already had a cancer situation that he overcame, and it's scary. So we're definitely praying over your health, bro, for sure. Definitely. So you've done a lot in this music industry. Lots of accomplishments. So congratulations on everything. Clock that.
Thank you.
What is your proudest moment so far?
I think my proudest moment really is just kind of like stepping out and creating my own brand. I really think that I was so used to just working with other brands that I never really thought that I could create my own thing. I never thought I was confident enough to even create my own brand and just really do, like, I really want to do the industry kind of like the right way. Especially with my classes, I feel like artists need to be educated first before we actually go out here and do something. Why would you want to go out here and do something that you don't know nothing about? So for me to just sit back and have people actually want to come to the class and be educated, I'm like, wow. I think that's like my proudest moment, because I'm like, I understand about even with that, like how to create now, I won't call them fans, but supporters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it surprised me. Like, I'd be like, I didn't know. Sometimes I'm more well loved than what I think I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. Like the inboxes, I'm like, wow. Like people really support what you do, and it's just like, how can I build on top of that? How can I master that? So I think that's really one of my biggest accomplishments. Like create my own brand and really kind of like, okay, I still can work with a Zaytoven, I still can work with a Boosie, but I still can create my own brand.
I think that was the best answer possible. I love that, because you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's proud to work with the Zays and the Boosie. That's cool. Boom, I love it. But when you can do something and stand on your own and gain recognition, that is something absolutely to be proud of.
Yes, because it was scary, because everything I kind of did in the beginning was built around Zay, but it's like these opportunities I kind of got now, it was like, well, dang, I did this on my own.
I did, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, now I can come back to Zay and be like, look, Zay, look what I done did, such and such. And that's what I always wanted to do with Nuke and Roll. I'd be like, I wanted to come back and be like, look what I done did by myself. Look, now how can we add on to that?
Absolutely, because now you're an asset. We don't ever want to be a liability to a situation. And oftentimes that happens. People come into a situation and they're more of a liability than an asset. You're a true asset to every situation you step into, because you have something to bring to the table.
Yes, and it's so funny because even like yesterday, when Nuke hit me up, I hit Nuke up. And I was like, because we finna start this platform where we able to distribute film. And Nuke was like, Tone, find out all the studio owners and he was like promoters out there in Spain and the UK. I'm like, Spain and UK, but it's a beautiful thing, like because he always told me like, Tone, your gift is research and connecting dots. See, we always think sometimes you might be like a producer, a singer, and anything, but sometimes your gift could just be something simple as you just know how to connect dots.
Man, so without giving them too much sauce, where do you start with something like that? Because we're in the U.S. How do you start looking for the top people in Spain that are promoters and studio owners?
It's so funny. You have to go to God first, because you don't know where to start with that.
Because I'd be like, do I go on Instagram? Like, what am I doing here?
But it's so funny though, because I never knew what I was doing, and I've been doing this for years. I got like a whole database of just resources, and I have resources from like everywhere. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just go to, and I have those type of resources from UK to Spain and stuff like that. It's just me going into my my database and actually looking it up. But like once I figure out, all I gotta do is find out one thing, and once I found out that one thing, then I go and I just like, prime example, I could just find out who's the hottest artist out there in Spain. I'll just go to find out, and then I find out what studio. You know what I'm saying? It'll come to me natural. Like, it's not hard. But he'll have that information, I promise you, like a day or two. Because it's like, it just comes natural to me because I know what to look for now.
Right. And if you find a hot artist, perhaps they have a flyer on their page that they're performing at a venue. Okay, we'll reach out to that venue and see who the promoter is, you know? So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We can go down a whole rabbit hole with that.
Yeah.
That is dope. Tell us, for these artists that are out here who have not had any type of formal artist development, you have classes.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was, because one thing I'm starting to notice in the industry is that, you know, and nothing is wrong with it, but it's like, to me, I don't think when these artists go to the showcase and stuff like that, you know, they're going there and expecting. So it's like one I feel like, why leave offline when you can create your fan base and then have them show up to your shows and stuff like that? So it's kind of like reverse engineering it now, you know, because like I said, when I started with Nuke, we just not kind of transition on social media, but they still had me doing the old way of doing things, like going out in the streets, putting up the flyer, which is all fine. I feel like you need to do all that still, but I feel like artists need fans now. They need fans, and they need to, like, and it's so funny because they're like, how can you create fans? I'm like, so simple, just DM somebody, tell them how good their day is. You know what I'm saying? Really teaching them how to date their fans. You have to date your fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really have to find out what your fans like, and really kind of, and it's manipulation, but it's good manipulation. I don't think sometimes you can manipulate people into being something great. Yeah. You know, and I think as long as you can use that power to just, you know, do something great, even if somebody don't even look as good, you know, just like I'll go into a woman, I love your hair, I think your hair is beautiful, and because you don't know what day she might have, you don't know what kind of, her man might have jumped on her or something like that, you don't know what day she having, just to hear something like that makes people day, and it shows that they're being watched. People love compliments, and that's going to always win all day, every day. So I think that's the reason why I created this class. Like, man, just create your fans.
I love that. It's so funny and ironic. You and I think so much alike, because I've been talking about that a lot lately. Something that I incorporated into my daily months ago was paying somebody a compliment every day. Typically a stranger. Because I could be at the grocery store and, you know, you can read people's face. They just look like maybe they're having a bad day. And I'll be like, hey, bro, them shoes, those are hard. And I kind of hype them up. I become like their hype woman, man. Them shades are fire. Like, and I get that type.
Oh, man, they love it.
It just, they instantly smile. They instantly get a smile on their face. And that's what it's about. Jumping in people's DMs. I want to talk about that just for a brief moment. If you're an artist and you've never met Tone before, or you never met Tampa before, right? And you're trying to approach them for the first time, the things that I personally don't like is if I've never met them, they're not following me, they've never engaged on my social media, and all they do is just dump their link in my Instagram. No hello, how you doing? Hey, my name is so-and-so. I don't get no introduction, no common courtesy, no manners. What would you say is the proper way for an artist that's jumping in someone's DM for the first time to approach them if it's somebody they want to work with?
And you know, so it's so funny too, because at the end of the day, I am a teacher and I'm a mentor. I don't look at, you can have A&R marketer, but at the end of the day, I'm still a teacher and a mentor. OG, that's how I look at it. Big bro, whatever they want to call me. And I actually tell them that, you know, hey, I appreciate you reaching out to me, but hey, you know, I'm a human being. Ask me how my day is. Get to know me. A lot of times people will do something for you in the industry and you don't even have to pay. It's just how you approach that person. They don't even know that. A lot of my opportunities, I didn't even have to pay because I just knew how to approach people and just say, hey, how you doing? I love what you got going on. Even if you don't even like what they got going, just make that person feel good about what they got going on. And I'm telling you, that works every day. I tell anybody, having manners and respect, I'm telling you, that's going to take you further than money all day, every day. And not just something I can incorporate even with my own grandma telling me that, like, manners and respect. But I even have to do that with artists. Hey, I'm a human being. Let me teach you something. Like, one artist jumped in and he was late. I was like, hey, man, you know, what if Jay-Z was right here? You know what I'm saying? Would you have been late for such and such? You have to treat every opportunity like you're sitting in front of like a Jay-Z. I don't think artists understand about opportunities. They looking at kind of like right now, or they're thinking like they're bigger than what they is. They go out of talent. I'm like, nah, like you just like the rest of us. To me personally, I'm like, you just like the rest of them, you know?
Man, thank you for saying that, because I have approached artists the same way. I'm like, look, I'm a person. I'm a human being. Have some common courtesy. Have some manners. Even just a good morning or hello or whatever. You just dump in links or whatever. And it's like, it becomes very frustrating. And sometimes I don't even respond to them because I'm like, I feel like I'll be in that type of mood if I respond. It's not going to be a nice response. Like, I got time today. So I'm like, because I be hurting people's feelings sometimes. I ain't even going to lie. I do. And I don't mean to come off so, like rough and tough, but there's just sometimes where like I'm moving so quick and I've got so much going on that I kind of snap back a little bit. And in hindsight, I'm like, okay, I probably could approach that a little bit different. Yeah. So it's like sometimes I just don't respond. No response is better than a mean response.
You ain't lying, but I think once, because there's so much of a fan, they don't know. And I think me going back and really listening to Big in his interviews and stuff like that, a lot of these guys, they just don't know. They don't know. They don't mean no harm. And it's like, man, if you really want the best out of you, sometimes, and they'll appreciate it too. Like, because they, like I said, they're like, I didn't know, man. I'm a human being.
Exactly. Big and I talked about that a couple days ago, and we were talking about how a lot of people online, and never would I name any names, but there's a lot of people out there who all they do is bash artists. Man, y'all so dumb, and
I hate it.
I hate it too. Rather than putting that energy into bashing them, put that energy into educating them. Tell it, if you don't like how they're doing something, that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because now an artist will watch this and know the proper way to approach. Let's educate them.
And that's crazy. That was like one of my biggest posts. And that was like the post I actually did the craziest. And I was talking about how music execs are really bashing them. They're getting mad at these guys because they don't have money, or they're getting mad at these guys. These guys don't know. I remember me starting off in the industry, and I was making mistakes. Man, I'm telling you, the mistakes I was making with Nuku, like he was getting so frustrated with me. But he saw the passion there, but he knew he had to train somebody up. And you have to train these guys, because these guys, they don't know. They only seeing future, and they seeing the end result. So they thinking, oh, I got this music, I got this product. People are supposed to love me, and that's kind of like the one. And I thought like that too. I'm thinking like, these people are supposed to support me. These people are supposed to do something, and that's kind of like a narcissistic way of thinking. Just because you got something, that people automatically is supposed to support you. And I think a lot of artists, that's their problem. They think just because they made a song, went to the studio, mixed and mastered it, like, okay, to me that's nothing. That's like going to Walmart now. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, it was something special.
Exactly.
But now it's like going to Walmart. So you have to give something. You feel me? Like you have to give them something to like. You have to give people something to support.
100%. Something else I wanted to talk to you about too is with artists just starting out in the industry, a lot of them don't have major budgets. And I'm the type of person that'll tell them, just start somewhere. Because in fact, I sat down for an interview yesterday, and what a great interview. Shout out to D Flow, man. Let It Flow podcast. We had a phenomenal interview, and he asked me, what's a realistic budget for artists to start out with? And I'm like, it's kind of tough because it depends on the artist where they're trying to go. Are you trying to be local? Are you trying to be regional? Are you trying to be international? And I'm like, I feel like if an artist at least has a couple grand in their pocket, that's a good start. Yes, of course, if you got 30, 40, 50,000, that's a better start. But don't allow the lack of funds to stop you, because there's a lot of things you can do to get out here and build relationships. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, because same thing, because a lot of them ask me, what should I have for a marketing budget? And I tell them, anybody now, some people can blow up off $500. Some people might need $30,000. It really depends on your personality and charisma and how hard you're willing to work. If you got good personality, charisma, and how you are willing to work, I'm telling you, it's going to work out. Because like, and if you make a marketable song, a lot of times people don't know that if you make a marketable song, a song that people can kind of like, you got to make things a movement. You got to get people involved. Like, I got this campaign for the dude with this girl, Lola Banks out of South Carolina, Freak. Well, that's a marketable song, because now and then like all the top rappers, she put their names in their songs. And so I'm like, now you can tag these people in the song. Now you be like, hey, you could just have a sexy picture of you and be like, hey, who wants to be a Carolina Freak? You know what I'm saying? And that's a marketable song. So I think a lot of times most artists think that they have to start off with this crazy budget. And it's just like, nah, you can just start off with $20 or $30. Just get your stuff, like long as, no, I won't say $20 or $30 because that's kind of low. But just start off, because you still got to get your song mixed and mastered. But as long as once you get past that part, I think once you get past that part and you make great content behind the song and create fans, you really don't need a big budget.
Listen, I agree. And, of course, if you're trying to reach these levels of hitting the Billboard charts and the Grammys, you are going to need that bigger budget. But think about that a little bit later down the road. Don't come out the gate thinking, man, I got to hit this. Man, when am I going to hit the Billboard chart? Don't think about that yet. Think about building that solid fan base. And, if it means cutting out smoking weed and putting that money into your marketing campaign, I feel like we make time and resources for what's important to us. If you put smoking weed before your music, then that to me says weed is more important than your music.
Exactly.
That's what I take from it.
I think a lot of them want to look like a star.
Don't go broke trying to look like you got money.
They want to look like a star. They like the idea of being a star, but they don't want to put the work into it. And and if you got music and no fans, what's the point of even kind of doing it? You gotta have fans. You gotta have supporters. And I think the artists are just really just doing music, and not creating fans. Like if you ain't got no, I tell them now, stop chasing the labels. Chase your fans, because the fans gonna push you to the labels.
Agreed.
You chasing these labels and stuff like that, they're gonna look at your numbers and be like, that don't mean anything to them. But if you got like a good fan base, a good support, they're gonna look into it.
That's right. Bigger always says a buzz is like pregnancy. It's gonna show. It's gonna show. Like you don't have to make it up. You don't have to chase nobody. The labels are gonna see it. Definitely. And also too, my thoughts, and I'm gonna see if you agree with me on this. I feel like social media is a bittersweet, and what I mean by that is pre-social media, these artists had no choice but to grind it out, because they didn't have the luxury of TikTok and Instagram and the internet and Twitter and Facebook. I feel like the social media is a sweet side because you can reach the entire world, but where it's bitter, I think it's made artists lazy at the same time too. Do you agree with that?
Very lazy. But if, like I said, if you can reverse engineer it, I had one artist told me the other day, she's like, I kind of wish that social media wasn't around, because I kind of like the interaction where you go out there and you talk to such. And I was just like, well, just take that same process that you're saying, like you want to meet people here and go into somebody's DMs and do the same thing.
Yeah.
But also too, it does, because they'll look at their following and think that they're bigger than what they are.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because they like I said, with this following in social media, it kind of creates a narcissistic behavior.
Correct.
Because they start thinking they're bigger, and they'll stop doing the things that kind of made them great.
Correct.
And once you stop doing that, and people start seeing a different person, it's just like, okay, who is this person now? Like, who is this person I fell in love with? And like I said, if you understand the psychological behind people and and relationships, stuff like that, just think about how when you date somebody or you're in a relationship, they want to see that same person they fell in love with. So if you start changing who you are, it's like,
great.
Like, who is this person that I met? You know what I'm saying?
Great piece of advice.
Yes.
And going back to something you said earlier, just having like that charisma and having a good personality, that will carry you so far, because nobody wants to deal with an a-hole at the end of the day. If you got this arrogant, nasty attitude, who wants to deal with someone like that? That's what's hindering people. There's nothing wrong, and it don't make you soft because you got a good attitude and an upbeat attitude. Like, it makes you likable.
And I think that, like you keep saying, people, when they start getting in their own mind, thinking that they're big. Like with me, like I could sit here and be like, man, I didn't do such and such. To me, it doesn't mean anything, because it feel like I can get better.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, okay, I enjoy what I just did. I enjoy working on Boosie film, but to me, it doesn't mean anything, because like I want to get better. Like I want to be on a certain level to where it's just like, man, like a Boom Man or something like that. Like I want to be on a level, but I want my brand to be so well loved. Like I don't want to be so like people. It's two type of brands. It's one people that fears and one people that love. And I felt like I want to go into the lane of being well loved, because I don't want nobody to feel like they gotta be with me because I'm here. Like I don't want to feel like a Diddy. I want to be like, man, I really enjoy being with Tone because I learned so much.
Yeah.
I got so much out of him. But I think me choosing this type of lane is new, because it's like with music execs, they don't be want to kind of like be with the artist. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like stand off. It's just like, no, come on, let's learn, let's grow, like let's learn this stuff together, because I love learning from them too as well.
Absolutely.
Because they put me on certain things too, like something I'm still trying to figure out, the mini chat, the automation thing. I'm still learning it, but it's like I understood why, because it's like, well, yeah, you want these guys to like when they hit
his chat kept asking me for my email. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I just gave it to you.
But it's so funny though, because like I go right back like, yeah, I'm learning something new, but I love it though because I'm learning.
That's hilarious.
I love learning. I love learning on the job too as well.
Well, and also stuff like that, just truth be told, is going to make your job a little easier. That automation, that's what I set up on my the Hype 87.3 Instagram. I set up automation because the thing I find is a lot of these artists are impatient. They'll DM me, and because I don't respond in 30 minutes, they're back in my DM saying hello, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of an interview. Would you want me to stop in the middle of your interview to respond to someone's DM? Absolutely not. So I set up automation, and it just basically says your message has been received, and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Because they be impatient as heck, and I'm like,
impatient.
But then when it comes to the business, they go ghost.
Yeah, they slow.
Make it make sense. Love y'all. Love y'all. No, definitely, 100%. So, you know, with all that being said, if there's an artist out there that's trying to get noticed by a Tone, somebody in your position, what would you offer them? Like, we just spilled a lot, but, you know, someone's like, man, I really want to get noticed by that guy right there. Like, he's working.
They have to. I have to see myself in them. I think sometimes I see artists and I'm like, yeah, I see myself in. Even if they're working hard, I tell most artists, like one artist, matter of fact, Sakan Rello, I like, bro, you working hard, but you working hard in the wrong direction. Like, he'll be at shows, and I'm like, man, you working hard, but you working hard. But I see myself in him because I was like that in the beginning when I first started doing music. Like, I want to be out there in the shows, being out every night, and it's like, they're like, Tone, what that got you? It really didn't get you anything.
Right.
So sometimes, but once I see that in them, there's like, okay, let's change how you're working. You don't have to work that hard. Instead of paying $40 for this showcase, pay $40 to get put into this blog. Take 15, 20 minutes out your day and just DM somebody and talk to them and, you know, encourage them. Say something. Anytime I felt like, even with posting, I feel like somebody should get something out of that post. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are just posting, but I say that to say this, you know, but to kind of get noticed about me, you definitely I have to see that work ethic in you. And I have to see like, okay, like, even, cause sometimes like, you can look at a guy, like sometimes the guys, they be on the, you know, the trap guys, stuff like that, you know, street guys. And you might look at them and be like, you think they're a certain type of way, but when you really get to know them, you're like, this is a whole nother type of person. Like, these guys are soft and lovable. But
like teddy bears.
They're teddy bears, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they just want to be loved, they want to be heard. But I think that's how you kind of get I have to see myself in you, and I have to see the real you. And then you have to be just as real and authentic. If you be like, man, Tone, all I got is, man, $500. I'm like, okay, well, let's go. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys, they'll like, just the prime example, they'll come to you, oh, I got this big budget, but it's like, okay, so what you're trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to spend it, or you just talking? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's my biggest thing to kind of get noticed by me, is just really just having an authentic person and just really working hard, because I could always reverse engineer how you work hard. Absolutely.
And kind of touching on that budget thing one more time, an approach that I've taken with a lot of artists, and they loved it and they felt comfortable, is they'll come to me and be like, well, how much is it going to cost me? And I'll say, well, how much can you afford? I'm not trying to break your bank. Like, literally sit down and calculate your bills for the month, the necessities, rent, car note, insurance, gas, food, whatever is left over that you could spend a little bit on, that's your budget, right? Figure that out and come back to me, and I don't judge you. If you come back and say, man, it's only $200 a month, okay, well, we're going to try to figure out what we can do with them $200. I don't judge nobody, because I'm not rich.
Man, you could do so much. They don't even know you could do so much with $200 a month on your market. It's people that's blowing up with no money, just their phones, because they know how to be creative, and they know how to stay engaged, and they know how to stay connected.
That's with facts. Like, we'll give an example, like the young lady J Barbie, the girl that's dancing. She literally had a cell phone video posted of her dancing. It went viral. Now she's getting paid like $6,000 to come out and do shows. She didn't invest no money into nothing. So, yeah, it's far and few in between, but it can happen.
Yes.
It's just the fact that you're making an effort.
Yeah, that's it. As long as you're making an effort, I'm telling you, people will see, and you're real genuine. People want to know the person behind the brand. And so if you're just really just trying to be like this, and like I said, I started off doing it. Like, I don't want to be, No, people want to know, who is this person behind the brand? Who is this person? Who am I spending money with? You want somebody to spend money? That's like, you don't want to spend money with somebody you don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because especially with the game setup, man, people take your money and scam you. You know what I'm saying? They really messing up the game, and they wonder why Timberland signing AI because it's like, I can trust the AI, but I can't really trust this human like that. So, you know, you definitely want to, as long as you can create a brand that people can trust and fall in love with, you're going to win all day.
100%.
Support it.
And just to kind of sum that up for the artist, man, like, I'm not saying y'all got to be soft,
no.
but I'm saying you got to be likable.
You got to be likable.
I promise you, if you change your mindset, if you're one of those artists who kind of has a chip on your shoulder and you walk around with this sense of arrogance and entitlement, people don't want to work with you like that. Some people will work with you because they have to, but truth be told, most people don't want to work with someone like that. So change your attitude, become likable, and see how, man, things will really elevate for you.
I'm telling you, it will. Like, I tell anybody, like, certain opportunities I'm being presented with or working with, like, I'm telling you, it's just all me just being myself. But a long time ago, somebody told me, like, bro, you can't be that nice. People going, and it's like, why would I want to change who I am just to kind of like get somebody to, no, I want you to work with me because you like me and we can have a good relationship and we can work moving forward. I can work with anybody, any brand or anything, because I believe it. I think, and I don't know if it's kind of do with dealing with military, but I feel like I want to do what's best for the situation. I'm not trying to be right. I want to do what's best for the situation. So once you go into the mind frame of that, then you can work with anybody.
You can go viral, or not even necessarily viral, because I don't feel like you should chase those viral moments, but it can happen. You can level up by being yourself and being positive.
That's it.
Like, example, I had an artist here with me probably about 2 weeks ago. His name is MCD from Tennessee. Super dope, super humble. He's like the epitome of the artist I would love to work with every day. Just very charismatic, you know, humble. His song, it's like 3 million views or streams or whatever on TikTok right now. And he's not a super well-known artist. It's just him being himself. Like, the music video had his family, his kids in there, just having a good time. And boom, man, every artist would love to get 3 million streams or view, whatever they call it on TikTok. You know, just be yourself.
And that's the biggest thing. If you can be yourself, then we know how to create the content around you. It's when artists not trying to be themselves and they're not comfortable with creating content. I'm just gonna say with me, like, if I create a piece of content and I feel like, dang, that's not me, I'm gonna take it right down because I know that's not within my personality. Any content I leave up, that's within my personality. But I didn't try to, like, man, I'm the and it just doesn't work. And I'm looking at it like, man, you know, you being too arrogant, you being too, and it's just like, it doesn't work. And then people are like, man, pop it. I don't have to pop it on a post and tell everybody, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see it in my work.
Yes, because it's slick almost becomes corny.
Yeah, it's very corny.
You know, like, that's how it comes off to me. Like, for people who really aren't putting the work in, but they go out to events and they constantly posting pictures with all these celebrities that they met that they'll never work with. Like, where's the work at? You know what I'm saying? Like, that will only carry you so far.
But so much. If you ain't got no substance behind what you're doing, but that was the lick. Posting money, posting with celebrities, that was the lick at the time. It's
played out now.
It's played out. People are understanding the game now. So it's like, I remember posting money. That was the biggest thing.
Right.
And then people are like, well, what's your money doing for me?
Exactly.
You know, how are you giving back? So it's just like, even with posting with celebrity, you posting with this guy, well, how that's helping me?
Right. And how is it slick really helping you? You met that person for literally 5 seconds. You flicked it up with them. You'll never see them again in your life. If you do, they're not going to remember you. So it's like, yeah, maybe if it's someone that you are truly, like, motivated by, that's one thing. But if it's somebody like you just do it constantly, I don't know, it just comes off corny to me.
It's very corny. It's very corny. Very corny.
So what would you say is the biggest shift you've seen in the industry as of recently, especially when it comes to breaking new talent?
Really, just like I said, keeping everything simple. Like I'm telling you, like I told the artist that we finna project we finna work on, she wants to do this big grand thing. I'm just like, no, because you got to think about it. Just say you get a feature with Boosie. What's next after that? Right. You feel me? It's okay to start small and build up into that, because it's like, now you're growing. Artists want to start at the top, and then like they'll put all this money into this, and it's like it doesn't go, and then they have to come back down, so it brings your brand down. Yeah. So I understand about brand building and telling a story with the brand. It's okay to start off small with just the camera and stuff, because people want to see the story. They want to see the growth. People want to see like, oh man, I remember they were doing such and such. You have to tell a story behind who the person is. People want to see. I do it because I be like, man, I want to do this big brand, and I can do it. But then I'm thinking like, what's next for me after that? If I do that, then I might take it to a whole nother level.
You set the bar really high for yourself.
Exactly. So it's like, how can I match that bar again? Because if I do something like that, I'm just say like, and nothing wrong with it, but like I'm talking at a festival. Shout out to CO Greg. So it's like, but hey, I'm talking at a festival. But if I go talk at Joe Blow Showcase and the flyer all messed up, it makes me look like. It makes the brand look bad.
Correct.
And I don't think artists understand about brand building. And there's nothing wrong about Joe Blow Showcase, but Joe Blow Showcase, and he invited me, it better look good. I'm like, bro, man, let me hold this flyer and let me just recreate it. Let me get, like, it takes $50 or $60 to have a nice flyer. I don't like being on that, ugly flyer because I'm posting that flyer. So it makes my brand look bad. And they don't understand that. They just thinking that you hating. No, it's about brand building.
I'm going to 1,000% agree with you on that, because there's been times where in the past I was invited to situations and they would send me the flyer and it was just terrible. And I'm like, I'm not posting that because it makes me look bad. Like, it makes my page look junky, and no shade, but shade. Spend that $50-$60 to a graphic designer who's going to make you a fire flyer, because people take you more seriously.
Very, and I don't think, like I said, art, and that's why I want to teach in this class. They got to understand about keeping a brand and understand that people don't pay Antonio Harrison. They pay the Big Dawg Tone, and that's a brand, and I stand behind it. But artists don't understand they're being rappers. They're not being brands. Our label sign brands. People spend money with brands. They don't spend money with rappers. Or, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, they're, in their name.
Exactly, because you're almost like a product. And I've been kind of talking about this lately too, because I'm like, that's something that's kind of on my mind. Like, what type of product can I develop? Because really, at the end of the day, people cherish products. Like, this is a product. I'm not going to lose this on purpose anyway. I'm going to baby it. I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to take care of it because I can touch it, feel it. It's an asset to me. But something that's not a product per se, like if it's just a fictitious whatever, people don't value it as much. So the artist becomes almost like the product. You know what I'm saying? The brand.
Yeah. Let me tell you, it can be something so simple as an artist with a dirty pair of shoes on, and that'll just throw me off. And it doesn't have to be Jordans. I tell anybody, it doesn't have to be Jordans or something Balenciagas or something crazy. Just be clean. Yeah. Just be clean and have a unique style. This right here, I paid $4 for this shirt. The pants, $10 from Marshall. The boots, I got it from Shein. But I knew I wear, so I have to be out in so many type of events that to the point where it's like I had to learn how to dress and create like a style within my dressing, because I would be spending so much money on clothes. I was like that. I gotta have a new pair of Christian Dior's on Gucci. I gotta have it, but you gotta know how to wear certain things. And I don't think a lot of artists understand even their clothing matter, that like how they present themselves. Nobody's saying you gotta go out here and be crazy. Like, nobody knew, like, this shirt, how much this shirt costs.
And that shirt looks fly on you. And I'm going to be honest, the entire time I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, dang, them colors look good on camera. I've been thinking that the whole time.
But a lot of artists, they don't know that. They just think they got to go out here and do something crazy. And I'm just like, nah, man, just be clean, be yourself. I think that's one thing. If you ask Zay, they're like, Tone, what do Tone do well? And he going to tell you, Tone know how to dress.
Perception is everything.
It's everything. That's how I was able to get a lot of opportunities, just knowing how to dress.
And you can really ball out on a budget.
You can.
Like, you don't have to, like you said you what, $4 you paid for that shirt?
$10 for the pants at Marshall's, and I ordered the boots, the Chelsea boots off Shein.
Listen, I spend no more. I love me some Shein. This shirt I got, I think this whole outfit I got is from Shein. It's like, you can look, fly, cute, whatever you want to call it. You can spend $30 and have you a fly outfit. At this big age, we shouldn't be judging people upon that. Like, that's something you do in elementary school. You tease them because of their shoes. As an adult, if you're still doing that, again, you're a clown.
Yeah, that's very kiddie.
Yeah, it's corny.
And it doesn't show creative.
We calling the cornballs out today.
Yeah, really. and I think an artist that kind of relies on that, it doesn't show creativity on how to dress. I can literally, if you set me inside a Goodwill store, I can come out being fly.
Man, that is facts. There's some gems, because if you go to the right one, because a lot of these wealthy people, they just want to get rid of stuff. They go dump it at Goodwill. I remember years back, I was a physical therapy assistant and a chiropractic assistant. And when I started back then, I didn't have a lot of money and I had to wear scrubs. I went to Goodwill, and they had a whole little rack with scrubs. My first set of scrubs came from Goodwill because I couldn't afford to go to the scrub store and pay $50 per set. I didn't have the money like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in my game.
But that's what I'm saying. If artists knew what we was doing to make it work, then they'll be moving in that direction. I'm like, man, what you coming here with? $500 shirt, you know what I'm saying, $1,200 pair of shoes, and you ain't got no money for your marketing. It doesn't make sense.
You're hustling backwards.
Very backwards, because who when people come to your page or you bring a track, and people get to your page and they don't see anything, it's like, you spend all that money for what? You can spend that money, like I said, into your marketing, making sure that you had podcasts, you know, mic drops and stuff like that, versus just an outfit for that situation.
Exactly, especially in 2025 and beyond. There's so many things that artists can do. You just named a couple: podcast interviews, mic drop performances, going to New Music Monday and performing in front of the DJs and the crowd. There's so many things you can invest your money in. We don't care if your t-shirt costs $500. I could care less if you're wearing a $5 Hanes t-shirt. Throw a little decent little chain on it. It ain't even got to be necessarily real.
Yeah, they don't know how to do it, though.
Like, come on, bro.
They don't know how to do it.
They are trying to impress a bunch of people who really slick don't give a damn about them.
Exactly. And it's so crazy that, because one thing I learned, everybody's on the internet playing.
Yes.
You'll be surprised who is doing what behind closed doors.
Of course.
Everybody's on the internet play, but you got to know how to play the game.
What would Tone be doing if music wasn't in your life?
Ooh, that's crazy. I don't know. I never really kind of thought of that. I think more working with kids, and that's something I want to get into.
Yeah.
I definitely want to work with kids because I feel like with grown folks, they already got their mind made up. And I heard a quote a long time: it's easier to kind of change a child mind than kind of trying to. It's easier to grow a child mind to kind of change a grown person mind. So I definitely want to work with kids and create programs. But that's something I'm definitely tapping into next. Is definitely kind of working with kids, because we have to kind of train them up to kind of get into the music industry and stuff like that. But yeah, that's definitely something I want to do with kids.
I love that, because right now it's June. It's Men's Mental Health Month. All my fellas out there, it is okay if you need to cry a little bit. It's okay if you need to see a therapist and talk to someone. Yes. Like, mental health is so important, and I feel like it starts with the youth.
Oh man, like I said, I keep going back because that's one of my biggest, mentors, or person I listen to is Big Dawg. Because once I understood that a lot of these kids, they're coming from broken homes. Mom on drugs or dad not there or something, like that stuff really weighs on their mental. We don't really understand, because growing up, my mom was like, well, I'm the man, you know how that go, and you the child, this and that. And so it's like you never really felt like you had a voice. But if we can really get to these kids at a young age with their mental health and stuff like that, it'll change their whole outlook on certain things. Like, prime example, even with my little nephew, and not to put my sister business out there, but she's a single mom, and the first thing he'll sit there and say is like, I don't want to take care of no woman. But he never seen a man take care. I'm like, man, just what men do. I teach him. Just what men do. Men pay bills. Men take care of kids and women. But a lot of these kids that's especially doing music, they never seen that. So they come into certain things and they only know what they saw. And, that does deal with their mental health.
Absolutely. And I feel like, I raised my son as a single mom, but what I did was I had my parents who were still married up until the day my mom passed. My dad was so heavily in my son's life. My dad was almost like his dad, because I wanted some sort of male authority figure in his life to see how a woman's supposed to be treated, because my dad treated my mom like a queen their entire relationship. So, but sometimes people don't have that luxury. Maybe there's not a male around or whatever, So we as women, we just got to do the best we can in them situations and nurture and show love. Like, don't force your kids to being so tough all the time. It's okay to, be a little sensitive from time to time.
Yes. And that's how it was with my grandma. My grandma, she didn't know how to raise a boy, so she thought that whooping me and doing all kind of crazy antics, which, don't get it twisted, it helped me growing up, but it's just like, I grew up fearing her, and I never want to, like, any kid or any, like, nieces and nephews of mine, 'cause I don't have kids, but I don't want them to fear me. Like, what broke my heart, something my nephew did, and it's like, man, you already know what kind of uncle I am. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to me about anything. But it's just like, man, I was just so, I knew. So I said, you ain't had to lie to me about that.
Right.
And I think and one thing I'm starting to do is just love a child so much to the point where they just know I'm disappointed is going to make them change.
That is facts. You are 100% right. And that certain topic makes me a little emotional because when my son was like younger, I kind of was that more on the discipline side and And I remember one time I disciplined him probably a little too hard, and I just seen them tears come down his face, and it ripped my heart out. And I was like, what are you doing? It wasn't that serious. So I let him know going forward, if there's a situation, don't lie to me about it. Or if you make a mistake, it's okay. We all make mistakes. You still have to be disciplined, but there's levels to it. Talk to him. Let him know it's okay to confide in me. That shifted my relationship with my son, and from there forward, like, he came to me with, even the first day he ever got smoked weed and got high, he let me know. You know what I'm saying?
Because you want that rapport and with them. I never, even with independent artists or anything, man. Listen, I know what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But you know, let you know, I want them to come to me and be like, because I want to be able to talk to them. Like, prime example, it could be a situation, like somebody talk to me about their baby mamas. I like, man, come on, man, don't do your baby mama like that. Man, make sure you take care of your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want these guys to come to me, and that's what we're missing in the industry. We're missing mentors, like, and no shades and no, you know, in music, but they're not mentors. These guys are coming, but they'll present them with money and everything, but we want to kind of grow and shape men.
Yes.
And I think that's what I'm kind of into. Like, how can I talk to them? Hey, man, you know you dealing drugs, so like, you don't run off on the plug, man. Make sure you pay the plug. Like, I know what you're doing, but let's keep doing it the right way. Because if I teach them on that level, then I can kind of change them to like, hey, I don't even want to do this no more.
Absolutely. People know when they're doing wrong.
Yeah, but it's like, you can still do right. No, it's no honor amongst thieves, but it's still certain ways to do things. Like, you know, man, you know what you're doing. Like,
no, facts.
Like, come on, do it. Let's just do it the right way. Because a lot of them like, man, I'm gonna run off on the pack. Come on, man, don't run off on the pack.
No, because that could cost you your life.
Exactly, but they don't know. They're just hearing what they hear off in the songs and stuff like that.
100%. What's one raw, unfiltered truth about the music industry that most artists aren't ready to hear?
And I'm gonna have to take it from an interview I heard from Bigger. Is almost like the dope game. It's worse than the dope game. He like you said, like, you can really, somebody can owe you $1 million, they can really just like walk past you every day, but at least, like you said, like with somebody who kind of like you stole some drugs from, you can kind of get back at them. Really understanding, like, man, it's really some people out there, it's some vultures out there who really don't care nothing about you. All they care about is the product, which is fine, but, you know what I'm saying, because business is business, but they got to understand that people, you got to do what's best for you and be the best, you know, do what's best for your family and the people that's up under you.
That is facts. Great piece of advice. Got one more question for you. If you could sign only one artist today, they're unknown but super talented, or they're extremely popular with no passion, which one are you picking?
Somebody with super talented.
Yeah, someone who's like, they're not known at all. They walk through the door and they got 10 followers on Instagram, but man, they are so talented. But you got someone who walks through, got 100,000 followers, but they have no passion. Which one are you going with?
I gotta go with the passion. Because I keep telling you, you can reverse engineer it.
Yeah.
You could always, like I said, it could be some of them guys who I see them working. They always at an independent, they had a show. You can be like, hey, listen, reverse engineer it. Maybe take that money that you spend at the shows and spend it on, you know, on your ads, or, you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, because one thing I'm starting to notice too, because I study trends, podcasts, interviews, and mic drops. Those are what's kind of like the trends now.
Yes.
And organic content. Man, spend your money in this area because people want to know the person behind the brand. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these guys, like I said, you know, they don't know. And then also too, I definitely would take a guy like, or person, or female that's really into passion, because you can't teach it.
Right.
You can't teach passion.
Yeah. 100%. So you talked about your classes that you're offering. Tell everybody one more time, if they want to get in touch with you in regards to your classes, the best way to do it, and anything else you got coming down the pipeline that they may need to know about.
You definitely can follow me on at I am the Big Dawg Tone at all social media. I made it simple. I am the Big Dawg Tone on all social media, and everything's in the link in the bio. Like I said, it's a free class. Like, I just love teaching. I love inspiring.
It's free too.
Yeah.
Y'all, hold on. Y'all heard that? There's zero excuse why you should not sign up for his class.
Yeah.
That's insane if you don't. I might need to sign up.
But it's so beautiful because like I got so many people to sign up, and it's just like, wow, you really have a voice. This is something that these guys won't, like, you know. But we have to, like I said, transition the industry to more education first, and then let's get into performing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I enjoy it.
Is it done virtually?
It's virtually, and then I'm gonna take it
on the road.
Uh-huh.
Again, zero excuse why you should not be signed, because I feel like every new artist needs some sort of artist development. They need someone to show them the ropes. This class is going to help touch on different things.
And tonight's class is going to be about they don't even know, like I'm showing about distribution companies that offer advances, and then we're going to get into how to create super fans.
I may have to where can people tune in, and like, do they have to register somewhere? Like,
It's in the link in the bio on my Zoom link, but we're going to have a class every week.
And if they miss one, is there somewhere they can go back and watch it?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna grab it from the Zoom link.
Okay. Cause shoot, I might need to tune in because there might be some stuff that I can learn from it. Like, I'm a sponge.
I love learning. You know,
yeah,
what I'm saying?
me too.
And I'm like you. I didn't know that it was distribution companies that even offer this type of stuff. But we only know about the big 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? Of course, United Masters and Distro and CD
Core,
Baby. Those guys. Shout out to them because they created a dope situation. But I didn't know that Cam Pro Distribution out there in Germany was offering independent artist distributions.
I didn't either.
I didn't know either, so it's like I didn't know it, like I said, until I kind of got into, like I said, reading and just learning and stuff like that.
Well, thank you for sharing so many beautiful gems today, and getting into an in-depth conversation, because I feel like sometimes people are afraid to talk about some of the things that we discussed, and some people may agree with it and some may not, and that's cool. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that somebody takes something from what we talked about today.
Definitely, yeah. And like I said, I'm not the final Boston in anything. What I'm saying, I love learning. So if anybody got something they can add in, chime in. Like I definitely love learning.
Absolutely. So you got the classes. Anything else coming up that people need to be put on game with?
Oh man, well, something I'm doing with it, I guess, on an independent artist level. Of course, they got the big old fest that I'm gonna be doing with CEO Greg with all the big music execs, and we're gonna be talking. But really, I'm just kind of like doing my thing. Of course, with Zay, he got his we're going to like Spain and stuff next month, and then stuff with entertainment with with them guys. So
I know that's right. Pop your ears. Okay. Tell them one more time where they can follow you.
Man, I am the Big Dawg Tone.
Easy enough, definitely.
That's it.
Who do you want to give thanks to for supporting you through your journey?
Oh man, shoot, just really everyone. I can't. Everybody been like a so inspiration to me. I love everybody. I can't pinpoint one person because everybody. It could be something simple as, hey, in my DM was like, hey bro, keep it going. Like, everybody's a part of the journey. Everybody's part of me. Everybody been part of my movement. Everybody taught me something. So everybody.
Love it. One last question. We are live. Where are we at?
Industries.
The big one.
We at
Not the little one.
Industry Most Wanted podcast with the legendary TampaMystic. You already know what it is.
Hey,
make sure you tap in.
Tune in. Tell everybody what makes you the industry's most wanted.
Because I'm the most wanted, because I'm the most different, and I want to do this the correct way.
I love it.
And I'm doing it my way.
Well, clock that. Definitely. Thank you for being here today.
Yes.
Man, this is beautiful. This is a great conversation.
I love it.
100%. We out of here, y'all. Peace out.